Benchrest shooting is a sport in which very accurate and precise rifles are shot at paper targets. The rifles ride on a front and rear rest. The rests may or may not be joined, depending on the rules of a particular competition. The rests sit on a table or bench, hence the name Benchrest. The shooter simply sits at the bench, in distinction to other shooting disciplines, where the shooter holds and aims the rifle without the benefit of a rest. The post-Civil War era double rest rifles were one early form of Benchrest rifles. Benchrest shooters are notoriously detail-oriented and constantly trying to further the accuracy potential of the rifle through experimentation. Nearly all Benchrest rifles are custom-made, and many shooters do their own gunsmithing. Nearly all shooters in centerfire competition hand-load their ammunition in order to tune it to the rifle. In contrast, hand-loading ammunition is strictly prohibited by the rules for rimfire Benchrest competitions. Types of competition. There are two major trends in competition. One type is group shooting, in which the object is to place 5 or 10 shots on a target as close together as possible. Winning placement in competition is determined by how well each competitor achieves this goal, or in other words, how closely the shots are grouped. This is sometimes termed precision competition. The other is score shooting, where a traditional bullseye-type target with scoring rings is used. Winning placement is determined by each shooter's score results. This is sometimes termed accuracy competition. However, in 550 and 910 meters competitions, the competitor's target is scored for both group size and score. A competitor may only win in one category. If, for example, a single competitor has the smallest group and highest score, they will be awarded only a win for the smallest group. The next highest score will be awarded the score win. Additionally, there is growing interest in both rimfire and airgun Benchrest. Currently, both of these competitions are of the score format only. Benchrest shooters attempt to achieve the ultimate in rifle precision. Records for single 910 meters. 10-shot groups are as small as 76 millimeters. The 550 meters record for a single 5-shot group is 17.8 millimeters, while 180 meters 10-shot groups are around 5.1 millimeters, and 91 meters 10-shot groups are around 2.5 millimeters. 5-shot groups are significantly smaller. Groups are measured from center to center, thus negating the variations of different calibers. To accomplish this, the group is measured across its overall widest dispersion, then the diameter of the bullet is subtracted for the result. For example, a group measuring 9.5 mm is scored 3.4 mm for a 6 mm bullet. Matches are shot from 46 meters with rimfire rifles, up to 910 meters for centerfire rifles. In competitive group shooting at 91 to 274 meters, shots often land very close together, making only one ragged hole in the target. Therefore, a method for verifying the required number of shots is used. This consists of a motorized single roll of paper stretched across and moving behind the targets, which will record the number of bullets passing through each target. Equipment. Since Benchrest is a sport requiring the highest possible accuracy and precision, the highest precision equipment is required if a shooter is to be competitive. The rifle is the most obvious cost. Top guns are custom-built and can cost thousands of dollars. Hand-loading equipment is also essential for centerfire shooters to allow tuning the ammunition to the rifle. In order to achieve extreme accuracy, the guns must be fired from a stable platform called a bench, which is a heavy, solid table usually anchored into the ground. Benches made of cinder block with a poured cement top are commonly used in competition. These superseded wooden benches used earlier, but are still used on some ranges. For most rifles, rests are required to provide a stable shooting surface, and most shooters use some method of judging the direction and/or velocity of the wind on the range. Rifles are usually custom-made with extreme accuracy in mind. Shooters might use heavy stainless steel barrels, scopes with high-power magnification, and hand-made stocks of graphite, fiberglass, or carbon fiber. Triggers are usually set to a pull of only a few ounces. Benchrest shooting grew from varmint hunting, where the shooters would aim for highly accurate rifles, using mostly .22 caliber cartridges. Initially, competitors could use just about any gun they wished. Eventually, classes of guns were created to enhance the sport's competitiveness. For example, the two long-range classes are a 7.7 kg maximum light gun, and an unlimited weight heavy gun. Short-range centerfire group shooting encompasses the light varmint overall, heavy varmint overall, sporter, and 6.2 mm or greater, and unlimited classes. The unlimited class comes very close to living up to its name. Just about any single-shot rifle qualifies, up to and including railguns, which are rifle barrels and mechanisms built into a machine, or return to battery rest. With rifles such as these, some initially argued that no shooting skill was involved and was simply a test of the gunsmith's craft. However, shooting a RTB rifle requires a set of skills different than conventional marksmanship. What is removed with the return to battery rifle is the need to physically aim the rifle for each shot, and evaluation of how any mirage will affect the shot. Judging the wind is as difficult and important with RTB rifles as with the other rifles. Given the mechanisms, it is arguably harder to compensate for ever-changing wind conditions when using a machine rest. The usual technique is to wait for what seems to be an identical condition rather than holding for the wind. Holding for the wind is quite common with the light and heavy varmint rifles, and does offer certain advantages. Benchrest matches involve careful reading of wind conditions to compensate for bullet drift, and the rifles and ammunition must be of the highest possible quality. However, claims of the superior position of machining over marksmanship skills in RTB rifle shooting are bolstered by the fact that competitors build their own rifles, and nearly all hand-load their ammunition to tune it to the rifle. Precision sights are also a requirement. High-quality aperture iron sights could be used, but nearly all Benchrest events allow telescopic sights. High magnification scopes are generally preferred. Magnifications of 24 times, 36 times, or higher are common when allowed. Generally, scopes will have turret adjustments to allow the scope to be easily adjusted for various shooting conditions. Ammunition: only the most consistent and efficient cartridges can provide the necessary accuracy for Benchrest shooting. Initially, many chamberings were tried, with the 219 Donaldson Wasp probably being the most common. The 222 Remington dominated the Benchrest world from the mid-1950s until around 1975, when the Wildcat 6mm PPC, based on a modified 220 Russian case, took over as the most accurate cartridge. In today's Benchrest competitions, short-range group is mainly shot with the 6mm PPC, while short-range score sees more rifles chambered in the 30BR in 550-meter Benchrest. The 6mm BR Norma and a Wildcat based on it. The 6mm Dasher are currently the most common chamberings. There is no dominant chambering in 910-meter competition. Choices range from the 6mm BR in Dasher through the 338 lap UIT with a host of 6mm, 6.5mm, 7mm, and 30 caliber chamberings, except where extremely rare competition rules stipulate factory assembled ammunition. Benchrest shooting relies exclusively on hand-loaded ammunition, which is user-assembled, round by round, with painstaking precision. Benchrest shooters' primers, powders and bullets must be of the highest quality available if they are to achieve the shot-to-shot consistency necessary for competitive performances. Most short-range Benchrest shooters use precision target-grade bullets made by custom bullet makers. Long-range shooters split about evenly between factory-manufactured and custom-manufactured bullets. Initially, very low-drag bullets were preferred for long-range, but both the difficulties in consistent manufacture and fussiness in consistent loading of VLD bullets have led to some compromised designs that have the promise of more consistent performance. Rest's unlimited class railguns are just barreled actions that ride directly on a machine rest. No additional rests are needed. The base of the railgun provides adjustable feet to provide stable position on the bench, and the rifle is aimed with horizontal and vertical adjustments built into the base. All other rifle types have recognizable stocks, and are fired from dual sandbags, a front bag on an adjustable mechanical platform and a special rear bag. The stocks of Benchrest rifles are designed to rest on the sandbags. With short-range rifles and the lower recoiling long-range rifles, many competitors shoot free recoil, where the rifle is not touched at all, save for the finger on the trigger. The sandbags provide all the support. By allowing the rifle to move freely backwards, the shooter hopes that the movement under recoil will be as consistent as possible. A few short-range rifles and long-range rifles with heavy recoil must be firmly held, even though the aiming is still done with the positioning of the rests. Wind flags. Wind flags are placed on the range between the shooter and the target, and allow a skilled shooter to judge the amount of correction that needs to be made to place each shot precisely on the target. Flags can be home-built or purchased. They generally consist of a wind vane to indicate wind direction, and a cloth streamer and/or propeller to indicate wind speed. Multiple flags are usually used, and they are placed at intervals along the path of the bullet from rifle to target. Competitions. The Super Shoot is usually held the week before Memorial Day in northern Ohio. Approximately 360 shooters from around the world will gather to see who can shoot the smallest average of light varmint and heavy varmint. The World Benchrest Championship is hosted in a different country every 2 years. On the 27th of June 2009, a world record was set there at 300 m with a 1.191 cm 5-shot group measured center to center.